Hey Tiny Tomatoes, hey parents. So before we start with our material today, we're going to go ahead and get a good warm-up. So you can go ahead and pause in between each warm-up, do it for a couple minutes, unpause and go on to the next warm-up. We're going to go ahead and start with some running in place. Good. Once we've done that for a couple minutes, we're going to move on to jumping jacks. Remember, you can pause the video in between each set. After we do some running in place and jumping jacks, we're going to move on to our stretches. So Mr. Teebles is going to have a seat. He's going to show us some butterfly stretches. Parents, make sure when they do this, they can flap their legs up or down, or they can push their knees to the floor. Either one works. After they do that, we're going to put our legs straight in front of us and touch our toes. Make sure they have their head trying to go as far down to their knees as they can. Once we do that, we're going to spread our feet out into a V. We're going to reach straight down towards the middle. We're going to reach to our right side. We're going to reach to our left side. Then we'll reach to both legs. And that's about it. So after you do that, we can stand up and we can start class. Ms. Teebles, wrong position. Sit. All right, we're going to start with our kicks. So Mr. Teebles is going to be in a fighting stance with the left leg in front. Remember, every time we go through these punches, kicks, and blocks, you can go and pause the video, do it for a couple minutes, and then unpause when you're ready to move on. So we're going to start with the front kick. When Mr. Teebles does the front kick, remember there are 4 parts. We bring our leg up, we take it out, make sure we snap it right back in, and then go straight down. So every time I count. 1, 2, 3. You hear Mr. Teebles breathing. That gets us more power when we kick. All right, now we're going to do our round kick. So Mr. Teebles is going to bring his foot out sideways. 1, 2, and 3. You remember, parents, you can pause the video at any time to keep moving forward. All right, now that we've done it without a pad, we're going to do it with the pad. Parents, you can do this with a pillow or a pillow. All right. So for the front kick, you're just going to hold it straight up towards them. Make sure when they kick with the balls of their feet. 1, 2, 3. After you've done that a couple times, you can go and switch to the round kick. For the round kick, parents, you're going to be sideways to the student. 1, 2, 3. Good. Make sure when they kick, they snap it back. They're not trying to push through you, and they aim right for the middle area of that pillow. All right, so now that we've done it with and without a target, we're going to go ahead and move on to our next exercise, our next drill. So Mr. Teebles is going to go back to his left leg fighting stance, facing the mirrors. We're going to do our front punch and our straight punch. So remember, front punch with the front hand, we're going to go as fast as we can. 1, 2, 3. You see Mr. Teebles doesn't leave it out there and then drop it. He brings it out, brings it straight back. Let's do it a couple more times. 1, 2. Good. Remember, you can pause it and then do that a couple more times so you're ready to move on. All right, now with our straight punch is a power punch. So with this one, we're going to leave it out for a couple seconds and bring it right back. 1. Good. You saw Mr. Teebles opened up his hips a little bit. He turned on the ball of his foot. Gets us a little more power when we punch. 2. And 3. Now parents, make sure they keep their hands up the whole time. We shouldn't have them dropping their hands. We want to keep them up. All right. So now that you've done it without the pad, you're going to do it with the pad. It's really, really simple. Front punch. 1. Good. 2. And 3. So the front punch is more of a speed punch, so when they hit it, it shouldn't really move you a lot, if any at all. It needs to contact and then snap back immediately. A couple more times. 1, 2, 3. All right, now with the straight punch is power punch, like I said earlier. So we need to make sure that they hit, and they hit hard. 1, 2, 3. Good. All right, you can do that for a couple more times, maybe 2 or 3 more minutes, then unpause the video to move on to our next activity. All right. So now that we've done our punches and our kicks, we're going to go ahead and do our blocks. So Mr. Teebles is going to get into a riding stance. Remember, a riding stance is like a horse stance, but our knees are only bent a little bit. They're not bent all the way. All right, so we got 2 blocks. We got our high block, and we got our scoop block. Remember, for the high block, we fold low, and for the scoop block, we also fold low. All right, so high block, you can do either arm. Ready? High block. 1, 2, and 3. So parents, make sure they do it sometimes without any contact, and then after they do it a couple of times to make sure their form is really good, you can come by and just push down a little bit, make sure their arm doesn't really fold down all the way by their hips. All right, so we've done that a couple times. Now we're going to do our scoop block. We're going to come around and out. 1, 2, and 3. Once again, after they've done it in the air a couple times, you can come around, make sure that their arm isn't really moving anywhere. Good. All right, so go ahead and pause the video now, do that a little more, 3 or 4 minutes, and then we can go into our end drill. Come on, position.
You see?
All right, so our end drill is really simple. It's evade the sword. We're going to do it with our arm. Parents, make sure when we do it with our arm, we're not swinging super hard. We don't want to knock anybody over or hurt them. So it's really simple. If I swing straight at Mr. Teeple's head, he's going to duck down in a squat. If I swing at Mr. Teeple's feet, he's going to jump up. And if I swing straight down, he's going to step to the side and then come right back. Make sure we're not drifting all over the place. Parents, when we swing low, make sure we swing low enough so they can jump over and nobody gets tripped up. All right, so you're going to do that for 5 minutes as an end drill. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. All right, back to my position.
You see?
All right, thank you for joining us in class today. If you need to go over anything else, you can just go back into the video and replay those certain areas. Thank you. I didn't know if I was supposed to do anything.